I'm at the Urban Convention Center for DFW Fiber Fest 2023. Let's go check out the marketplace. I've got my Taylor Swift wristband and we are gonna head inside. We're starting in the front of the vendor hall at 316 Studio. Jenny and Kendall are based in Wichita, Kansas, and we got to see their yarn at our Kansas yarn store a few weeks ago. They built their house and yard for yarn dyeing. For real, their whole garden was created to make botanically dyed yarns like these pressed socks and sock tubes. There's also the Happy Little Yarn collection based off of Bob Ross. Over at the Sexy Knitter booth, there are even color your own project bags to match. Nordic Star Yarns is a brand new one for me. They're out of Houston, Texas, but Jenny takes inspiration for the name from her heritage. A bonus connection is that Jenny is a quilter and loves the quilt block called the Nordic Star. You'll see tons of beautiful bright colors in this booth. Jenny says she loves dyeing whatever colors make her feel happy in the moment. They also carry a collection of Nordic yarns. You may know Josh of Red Stag Fibre from his connection with the Modern Skein Yarn Shop in Montgomery, Texas, where his wife, Sharon, is the owner. Josh's booth has a sleek, masculine feel with 2 cushy leather chairs and a faux fireplace. Overhead, you'll see their mascot, Reginald, Duke of Kitchener, who has a family tree and a full history displayed. One of their bases that you'll want to keep an eye out for is Riyadh, a super soft 50% baby camel and 50% silk that is drapey as anything. So somebody came up to me and they had made this bingo card, and Macy of Mesa Skeins is actually the one who told me about it. She's on it and you have to say hello to her, and then you have to come and ask me about Toaster. And then there's all kinds of fun things like swap stitch markers, compliment someone's knitted garment, and this group that is doing it is out of Denton. So if you're in the Denton area and you need a knit group to join, you should join them because they're a lot of fun. Diane of Suburban Stitcher is always one of my favorites to see at shows. She did not disappoint with this year's show colorway called Desperately Seeking Cool. Everyone was a huge fan of her beautiful shiny bags that you could get with your purchase. Gritty Knits is out of Houston, Texas, and Natasha's booth is a beautiful rainbow of color. The recent collection is colorways named after dinosaurs. Natasha's favorite is Caudipteryx. All of the samples you see are designed by Natasha. You'll find them under Natasha Sills on Ravelry. One of the most popular patterns is this shawl called Stay Out of the Forest. All of these incredible fade kits are put together specifically for the shawl. We got to see a sneak peek of a chick that knits in Tammy's home and dye studio in Oklahoma, and now we get to see the full effect. How cute did the hen house turn out? There's a huge wall of minis that are great for color work, blankets, or heels and toes of socks. They have a whole collection of assigned pooling colorways for any of those lovely assigned pooling patterns. Tammy even has some geo-gradient kits put together if you're on the lookout for colors for this year's West Knits MCAL. Moving across the way, you'll find Treehouse Knits out of Austin, Texas. Lauren, the dyer, is featuring many beautiful bases. especially love the bundles of mini skeins. It's always nice to see when the colorways are put together for me. Lastly, we've got a dyer out of Memphis, Tennessee, Forbidden Fiber Co. All around the walls of the booth are colors from their Steampunk Sheep collection, and this collection has a huge backstory. The lore has been developing for 5 years, with new sheepy characters being added throughout. You can actually read all about them in the town newsletter. Also brought a collection of spooky yarns, from Beetlejuice to a whole Haunted Mansion collection. DFW was such a great show this year. After they had a couple years off because of COVID, they came back last year and it was still a really great show. But I feel like this year it was back to normal, if you will. There were so many amazing vendors and it was fun this year because I feel like all last year, my shopping was almost zero. Like, I was going to all of these things, but I really wasn't shopping because I was zeroing out my stash. And that is not the case anymore. I am, I guess, stashing up. I didn't really have any intentional plans when we started traveling except to get yarn in every state. But honestly, my mood lately has turned to shopping. So I have quite a lot to show you, and it's going to be fun to kind of give you a little bit more insight into some of the booths that we went to. So let's just get right into it. So this is not going to be in order that we shopped, except that I do remember that I got this first. So from 316 Dye Studio out of Wichita, these are those botanically dyed socks that they talked about. This one is actually a sock tube. Actually, this is connected. I thought I was going to get to open it, but isn't that pretty? So I can just cut in heels, toes, and cuffs right into this. And I went ahead and picked up these 10-gram minis from them as well to go with it. So I think these socks will end up being a little too big for my foot, but I think that they will fit my mom and mother-in-law. So maybe I will do that for them and give them some beautiful socks for Christmas. I think that's a really, really cool idea. All right, I shopped for the first time at Forbidden Fiber Co. I know they've been around the country. I think they were last in California, but they're now in Tennessee and they've been there for a while. So this one is called Tomb Sweet Tomb, and it is a Haunted Mansion colorway. We're actually going to be at Disney next week, so maybe I'll want to wind that up and start some Disney socks for Halloween. I actually have so many Halloween socks to make. Speaking of, here's another one in here from Charming You. So Charming You we saw for the first time last year at DFW Fiber Fest. I believe, you know, they might be in California. Now I can't remember. My theme for shopping was mostly getting show colorways, but also just keeping an eye out for Texas dyers. But I don't think this is I can't remember if this is a Texas dyer. I think it kind of, you know, it went off that a little bit, but this is the Hocus Pocus colorway. And I did show some of these on Instagram. It didn't come into this video, but they had this one that's Hocus Pocus. They had a really cool Beetlejuice colorway. They had a Wednesday colorway and something else that I'm forgetting. They also had a show colorway that I made sure to get, and it's called World of Fiber. And it was just a play on the new logo this year, but kind of, you know, jewel toned up just a little bit. So I thought that was really pretty. And most of these yarns I'm planning to keep and use. Some of them I'm going to use as giveaways in my membership or for different things. So there's not a perfect plan for everything right now. I was just honestly just enjoying myself and having a good time. This one is from Whimsy Stitches, and this was a show colorway called Barbie Does Dallas. So, you know, I had to get that one. He also had so many fun colorways. This is another one that didn't make it into the YouTube video because I got it on the second day when I went back and just shopped and hung out. But I do have some stuff for my Instagram. He had some really fun fall colors with very silly names and just beautiful colors. Like one was like, I'm a smutty pumpkin or something really silly. That was great. Okay, I have my first red Stag Fibre, which I'm super excited. It was such a beautiful booth. If you saw the like the two leather chairs and the fireplace and the stag on the wall, it was really cool. So this one was one of the show colorways. It's called Turning Leaves, or it was the show colorway, Turning Leaves. And this is a 100% superwash merino 3-ply. So it's definitely a little bit different. I'm not sure if this is going to be, you know, I don't know if I'd use this for socks. I'm not sure what I'm planning to do with this, but I did like it. I think for me, it definitely leans a little more masculine, which is cool. I'm curious how it would knit up. Maybe Kent or maybe one of my brothers would like something in those colors. And then I didn't want to turn down this one either. This is the same base. It's called Estate Fingering. And this one was a benefit yarn. It's called Abby's Yarn. And it was for Josh, who's a dyer, his friend's daughter, Abby, who I believe it said she is going through cancer treatment. And so it was a fundraiser. So $10 of every skein went to them, which I thought was very generous. Okay, this was not a show colorway, but there was a show colorway for Barker wool. Again, this is not what I'm sure that we got. I can't remember. We might have gotten the show colorway, but I wanted to get some assigned pooling yarn from the queen of assigned pooling, Dawn Barker of Barker Wool. We're going to be doing something with the membership likely next year, doing like an assigned pooling class. So I went ahead and got 2 skeins of Flora. That's what this one is called. So this kind of variegated dustier pink will be the background. And then this more magenta, maybe you could say, that will be the little pops. That will be the assigned pooling stitch pattern. So that one is called Flora. Focus. Anyway, it's called Flora. All right, next up, we went to a Chick That Knits, and I had just been to the dye studio in Oklahoma. So I didn't need too much more Chick That Knits, but I did want to get their show colorway. Isn't that a cute label? And it is called City Vibes, excuse me. So I got that one, which is a fun colorway, kind of a navy with different things. It kind of looks like city lights is what I'm guessing. And then and then Kit got one. Tammy also dyes assigned pooling yarns that can be used with Dawn's patterns. So this one is is that blue or black? I don't know, kind of a gray blue colorway. What is this one called? It's called Black Orchid. And this one is designed to look like flowers. So there's green and like light and pink and stuff. So Kent got that one for a membership giveaway. Not sure I'm supposed to say that, but he can edit it out if he needs to. And then we had to go across the way to Treehouse Knits. This is Tammy's daughter-in-law. And I got a set of minis from her, Lauren. And this one, I think all the mini sets were just called Meet Us at the Treehouse. But I can use these for my blanket. So I thought those were really nice and fun. So that is most likely going into my blankets. I got another mini skein from a new to me dyer called Euphoria Knits. They used to be in Dallas, but they just I think they said like a week ago, moved to Colorado. And this is just a leftovers colorway. So when she is dyeing the yarn and she has leftovers, she will put them into a pan and make these beautiful one-of-a-kind mini colors. So again, another one perfect for my blanket. We're getting almost to the bottom. This is called Winterstrom Ranch, or from Winterstrom Ranch. They are a fiber mill in Texas, and they were telling me they're the only fiber mill that does something, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I don't want to say exactly what I think they said, but I believe they mostly mill yarns for other people, but then they also do some of their own. So this one is 70% alpaca, 25% merino, and 5% Angelina, which is the sparkle in there. So can you see on the camera? I'm not sure if you can. There's gold sparkle in this. This is a sport weight yarn, and it has a really interesting feel. Like it's definitely rusticy, but it's not scratchy. Honestly, if somebody handed it to me, I would have thought there was maybe cotton in there just because of the way it feels. It's different. I've never quite seen anything like this. It's a sport weight, but it definitely looks a little thicker. I'm thinking it could be great for a hat. And at another booth, I got this yarn that I think would be fun to hold together with it. So let me tell you about this one. So this was, again, another new to me. This person is in Austin, and they are Yarn Matter. And all of their yarns are naturally dyed. So even though they're naturally dyed, there's a lot of really saturated and beautiful colors in there. I want to say bright colors, but they're not like bright in a neon sense. They're bright like in this kind of sense where they're just like a really good color. So they get all of these wild things to dye them with. And actually each of the tags says what the dye materials are. This one says cochineal. I don't know how to say that properly. Cochineal. Y'all can tell me what the right thing is. And then this is the colorway Dream House for Barbie. So I had to grab that. And this was one of the show colorways. They had two. And then one more thing, last one, from Suburban Stitcher. I had to get one of her show colorways. And it's called Desperately Seeking Cool, because at the time they were getting everything prepared. They were at like 50 days over 100 degrees in Texas. So it cooled off actually for the show. It was actually quite nice in the low 80s, even though everything is inside for DFW Fiber Fest. So you don't really have to worry once you get in there. It is nice and air conditioned. I was actually wearing a sweatshirt the entire second day because it was chilly. So that's all the yarn that I got. There's quite a bit of it, but I had a great time. And then I also got this from one of a Kate. She crocheted these for just to hand out, and she gave me one. I also got a little boot stitch marker. There's a stitch marker swap. I actually have several stitch markers. They ended up in various places, but I thought that was really cute and fun. So if you are ever in the vicinity or you make a trip to DFW Fiber Fest, it's a great show. The marketplace is great. I spent everything that you see filmed in this video was done on Friday with Kent. We were running around filming and trying to get as many booths as possible, stopping and chatting with people in between, and all that you saw that we filmed, I think we got to like 8 or 9 booths, was done in a span of 4 hours because it just takes so long to get through because everything is so good. And then I went back on Saturday and I went around and just shopped with my friend Brooke, and then I ended up hanging out with some people. I met somebody, a new friend named Emily, and we hung out, and then we met some other people at a table and hung out. So it was just a really good and fun weekend. Last year I didn't get to go for 2 days. I only got to go for one, and we spent most of the day filming. So it was great to get to go back for 2 days. Well, that's everything I have for you for DFW Fiber Fest. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!